hear you. My mic wasn't set up correctly, but now it is. And so I
Oh,
can hear
right, I
me.
got you.
But
All
yeah.
right. So what
So
I was just saying,
go ahead.
yeah, Rachel, what I was just saying is that outside of America, we don't really know what senior year is, well, how old that is. What age are you in senior year?
All right. So 2012. That would have been 17 years old. 17 or
17.
18 years
Oh,
old. Yeah, I graduated high
okay.
school. I was 17. So that's
17. Okay.
yeah. So I'm like, this is what I'm like drawing in class.
Oh, that's
Really
great.
quiet.
For 17, that's amazing.
I can't do anything else anymore. Let me adjust one more. Yeah, I can't do anything else about that right now. Yeah. So I just gotta talk louder. uh, this mic is difficult. All right, but would you ask Patrick? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that looks amazing for 17.
Yeah, I don't even
That's
know, man.
incredible.
Yeah, I was taking. I had not taken any art classes up until my senior
Really?
year of high school. I started taking a few, and I think that's where the anatomy drawings started coming in. But let's see, is this focused? Can you see it okay, Patrick?
Can you get any closer to it?
Yes, I can. Look at
Can you
that.
zoom in?
Whoa. And then
That's
get the
better. Oh, that's it.
focus.
That's
All
it. And
right.
that's much better. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your patience, everyone, while I figure this out. Um, but slower. All right. Yeah, it's just like weird stuff. I had this thing in my head. I just wanted to like figure out how to draw from my imagination. That was always something I strived to do, and I was really, really, really bad at it for a really long time. like weird stuff. No
So
sound.
at 17, this is a sketchbook. Is the entire sketchbook done in that one year? Because I saw you said two thought you had a number on the sketchbook. Is everything in there the same year?
Yeah, this should have all been 2012. People are saying there's still some audio issues now. I Can you turn up the
Well, I
volume
can
on
hear you
yours to
fine.
see if you hear it?
I can hear you. Can they hear me? Maybe it might be me. Because I can hear you fine.
I don't know why it's so quiet. That's frustrating because it's turned up all the way. I don't know what to do about that. One moment. Okay. I'm hearing it all twice now. Alright, there's maybe one more thing I can do here. And then I thought that there was some way you could edit this. I can't do it right now. Maybe. Do we want to proceed? Do we want to keep doing? We're having mixed. If some people say it's fine. Okay. How many people? Wow, we got so many people watching too. We have 5 people watching. All right. Sorry, this has been
So
a lot here.
what was the audio problem? Because I can hear everything fine.
Okay, you
Can they
can hear
not
me
hear?
fine. Then they should be able to hear it as well. I think
Yeah,
I had an audio issue in the beginning, and maybe there's a delay, and that's why people kept saying.
yeah. I think that's what it is. Well, that's a nice little drawing. Can we just pause on that one,
Yeah, we
Rachel?
can
Come
pause
back
on
to
this
that
weird
one.
little guy.
Yeah.
All right.
See, I love her little face. I love the fact that you've given it a big frontalis
Oh my
to give
god.
it that baby look, even though it seems to be a teenager. Well,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. What's the story?
So what is the story behind this? I don't know.
Yeah,
Like I would just like start drawing shapes that I thought were interesting or cool, and then just trying to make it, I don't know, look aesthetically pleasing. And I also had this strange obsession with like really tiny details and weird places. It's
yeah.
yeah, like yeah, I like I was just drawing like all the way up to this point of high school, just like scary monsters, and so that's just kind of where it evolved to. And so not the best work in here, but you keep going, and so I got the next book here. All right, this one maybe we can go here. This one might have some more fun stuff. So this is 2016 now, so 4 years.
So
And
four
this
years
is,
difference.
yeah, this is 4 years later. So from 17, 18, 21, 22 years old. Uh,
Huge improvement, isn't it? But you know what?
yeah,
I
there's
thought
many little
17
things.
was terrific. I thought that little mouse-like character was terrific. Because you said something very interesting,
Huh.
Rachel, and it was the fact that you found little details in certain spots.
Yeah.
And that was the first things that I recognized in artists that I love, that they concentrated detail in small spots and then they left a bit of expanse for you to breathe, and get your mind
Mm-hmm.
right for the next bit of little bits of detail. And one of my favorite artists of all time did that. He's called Gene Colan. And he did loads of expanses and then small amounts of detail. And it was
Uh-huh.
so easy on the eye, so nice. It was a composition in detail and no detail and then detail again. And the detail got bigger and bigger away from the central point, or the other way. It got smaller and smaller. Whatever way it was, it wasn't detail in little patches the same. It was
Uh-huh.
a detail and there was a big, it was like a symphony of detail. And it
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah, those
And you've got it there in
rhythms.
the face. Yeah.
Yeah, that
See
type
how
of
you've got
like
that expense?
what
Yeah.
was that?
It draws your eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you've got all the detail in the top quadrant there, and then it fades out without having to do lost edges. It's basically a bit like lost masses. It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
a
this,
great observation. That's a great because it's
well,
you
well,
get
it makes me think.
go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it makes me think that you were born with a way of seeing things. Because if you weren't taught it, then how did you know it? So you have this feeling that it's right, and you do it, and I think maybe that's the core of why you're an artist.
Yeah.
Whereas others would would try and copy something and it didn't quite work out, and then you'd copy something else and it didn't quite work out and you'd give it up. Whereas you're finding what you love within yourself, which is a really strange feeling. I had it myself when I was drawing, where you look at your own work and you go, "Wow, I don't know how I did that." And
Mhm.
so it must be, it's already in your subconscious. All the stuff you love from other artists is in there, and you've drawn it out without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
So that's food for thought.
Yeah, yeah, that's so much food for thought. And yeah, that was something I didn't have words for when I was doing it, but it's just like you just realize like certain things are more aesthetically pleasing and fun to work on.
Yeah,
And so like little details are fun, but you don't want to do them all over the place cuz then that's boring and it also doesn't look
it's
as good.
boring. Yeah,
And then like little just rhythms of things kind of going the same direction. Like I was kind of doing that the whole time and yeah, and then you start to actually like educate yourself. And 2016 would have been the year that I started to do some of that, and it's like you start to get words for some of these things. So I was like, I took one
yeah,
anatomy
that's it.
class in high school, and I kind of knew like you take like one lesson on the muscles, one lesson on the bones, one lesson on the organs, stuff like that. But other than that, it was just like figuring it out. But this is where I started to find people like Steve Houston and Jeff Watts and other people we've talked to at this point. And I was like, oh my god, you can get like way better at this thing. Like I was just drawing these like really bad. I didn't know what I was doing, and then suddenly I like kind of understood some of these things. But
Yeah,
one of the other things is like working from photo reference is like you can copy a photo, but I didn't know what all this was. Like I was
yeah,
still learning all these muscles and stuff, and you look at it, it's like, what is that? That's not like
yeah,
it doesn't actually. But I was just copying the photo, and that gets you pretty far. But it's not what I was going for. I wanted to get better at drawing out of my head. But all this stuff I was like
yeah,
listening to, and all this like stuff I was like finding, like I was just like finding all this stuff online, all these people like teaching these crazy classes. These are like some of my first figure gesture drawings. I was about to skip them, but maybe. uh, yeah. So I took this big thing to gesture drawing because I like I said I can copy a photograph. Suddenly I go and the model's in front of me and I suck again. And so now
it's
I
a whole
want to
different
figure
story,
this
isn't
out. Yeah, you're like how
it?
how does Steve Houston do that drawing in 2 minutes and I can't? I was trying. I tried so hard, but then I can sit down and copy a photograph. So
Yeah.
it's like you gotta. I wanted to like break out of that and like do something more meaningful and yeah, Crabtree Falls. I don't know, nothing good there, but just this is Steve Houston's lesson right there.
Yeah.
Uh, Trying some orange didn't work.
That's nice. That's
Yeah,
nice. I like that.
yeah,
Well,
and
there's an interesting thing there, Rachel, is that you thought it wasn't so great, but I really liked it. And
oh
that's
my
what I
god.
think everyone should
Uh,
know is that when people see it all in one hit, they love it. So it doesn't matter what you, at the end of the day, it's not your work. It's someone else's to enjoy. Do you know what I mean? It's your work.
huh.
But for you to go, oh, I can see everything that's wrong with it, that's only in your head.
Yeah,
So when other people see it, they go, oh, I love that. So you're seeing all of the cogs and wheels
yeah. Look at
that were
how short
probably
that
you
arm
when you were
is.
doing it. See, you're still doing it. You're still doing
Yeah,
it. So,
yeah. This is a
but
10-year-old
the people,
drawing, and this is.
I know
Yeah.
you will do that for the rest of your life. That's why you've just got to let it go and let other people own it. So, and another person owns it and they love it for all its flaws. In fact, I think with AI now, I think the flaws in art are almost like a badge of honor. We go, a human did that
Mhm.
because the flaws are human flaws, not AI flaws. So I think a flawed artwork is not something to even worry about anymore. They're all going to have some flaws in them. So I
Yeah.
love that, flaws and all.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Like.
could we go back to the very first page? Because there was something
Yeah.
so important on that first page that we skipped.
What do you
Right
mean?
back to, right back to the very, on the left there,
You
that little
know,
card.
this is a Valentine's Day card from a child. I don't remember who, but they gave it to me and I stuck it to my book. And then I got some notes to
All
myself
right.
here. I said I will be a successful working artist, and then I said charcoal drawing every day, and then some other stuff that I don't even know
There
what
it
that
is.
means.
The most, the most important part of the sketchbook was not talked about right there.
Oh, it's
And I
all
was
over
hoping
the
it was going to be
sketchbook.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like
Notations.
classes.
Yeah, notations are so great. I would recommend to everyone if they go to the live draw class to write the name of the model and the date that you did it, because that is going to be such a gem for you later in life when you look back and go, I can't remember when I did that. And like I was saying before the podcast, someone sent me old drawings when I was a little child, 10 years old, and I looked all over that drawing for a time, for a date, and there wasn't one. And I would have just treasured that date if I could have found it. You won't believe how much that means to you later in life. So I would say date your sketchbook was dated at the front, but to write down loads of notes, maybe what you were doing. This was a Wednesday, and you know, I just broke up with my boyfriend, and I'm really sad. You know, anything at all. You know, you could put it in there. And you go, oh my God, that was the time. That was the. It's so important later. You think
Yeah.
not at the time, but it's so important later, and it also gives you an insight into how you're improving too. I can't get this arm right, and then later on you do. You know, and you see it. Things like that. So I think you should notate all the way along. Write down your thoughts all the time. Such an important
Yeah.
thing. And in neuroscience, they're saying people that handwrite are growing faster with their cognitive skills than people that type, because typing is not the same thing.
Yeah.
So when you write something, it really sticks. Just my 2 cents there. So I'm
Yeah.
looking into
Yeah.
neuroscience all
We
the
got a
time.
question from the chat.
What's the question?
All right, Rachel, were you observing life around you all the time and trying to explain why things are the way that they are?
Oh goodness. Uh
That's a good question. Good
yeah.
question.
Yeah, I mean that's like you're trying to make sense of the world. I think that's a great motivation to draw. You're like you want like there's something I don't know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I guess the answer is yeah. Like you're always looking and always like some stuff kind of sticks with you longer than other things and it's like there's also this thing where you see it, you draw it, you think it's cool. Well, you see it, you think it's cool, you draw it, and then it's like stuck in your brain, and then you can pull from that later, and then your drawings keep improving. And so I kind of think about it a little bit like that. Like the environment I surround myself with will also influence what's going in here as things will change over time and like so that's like keeping sketchbooks like this like I've done it forever, and you build up these stacks of them, and they're really cool to look through later. And like Patrick was saying, I remember where I was when I drew this. I was sitting in Louisiana, and I was about to go to Mardi Gras.
No.
Yeah, that was a wild story. I saw some crazy things. But I was sitting down, and this was the calm before the storm, I guess. I was enjoying some peace before Mardi Gras. Yeah, and then I come back home, and I'm like, I need to get serious, you know? After the hangover's passed, you're like, oh my God, I need to like pick myself up. You know, you're like, I need to work here. And yeah, like I had so many of these books. Let's see. Something else cool about sketchbooks, you look back and you're like, oh, there's like some cool ideas in there. I could like bring some of those back. And then a lot of this stuff where I'm trying to like figure out how to draw out of my head, and it's all like super scribbly. And it's like this thing that I sort of like develop more and more over time. Like looking, like there's nothing like looking back at it. It's like this is sort of how I still work constantly. I start super scribbly, super blurry, and it's like bringing an image into focus. And I just like wasn't able to bring these up to any kind of focus yet because I hadn't like built up enough stuff in my library, and I didn't really understand how to use a lot of reference yet. This was I was learning composition, so just lots of
Is this
stuff
from
like,
Moth and Spike? Was that from Moth and Spike? Those little thumbnails?
no, this is way before Moth and Spike. I don't even know. These are just like random little things. I remember this dragon right here. I turned it into a paint. I like blew it up, flipped it around, and I did end up turning this into an oil painting later, which I've lost to time now, but it's hidden somewhere. This is like another little study I did for it. I kind of like that guy.
Turbo Rachel.
Huh?
Turbo Rachel, can we turn back the page a bit?
Okay.
I
We
wanna
can turn
look
back.
Are you doing the rule of thirds there?
Looks like
Are you
it.
going for the golden ratio?
Yeah, probably.
It looks like, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like the golden ratio would do that right there. And so maybe I'd like learn
That's
something
right.
about and this composition is better than this one because of that. It's like I
Yeah.
guess it does it a little bit, but it's better. It's like right there
Yeah.
is where you want it to be. Yeah, and then
I I was with a student once. She says, I don't know anything about composition. Yeah. And I says, well, there's the golden ratio, but you don't want to get stuck on it. It's kind of a gimmick. And if everyone does it, all your artworks look the same. And she says, how does that work? And I says, well, and I did a spiral like this. And I says, well, where the woman's lying in the water here, if you did a spiral there, that could be a row of flower petals, right? I says, but it's all hokey. And she put the flower petals and they brought the whole artwork into just this whole thing. And she says, I'm going to do that from now on. I says, no. The idea is that it'll look like a gimmick. She says, look, it works. And so it was a strange thing. I couldn't convince her that you shouldn't do it all the time by showing her how it works. And she went, I'm going to do that all the time.
oh my god.
Because it did work. And that's the thing with method. It works, but you've got to be flexible enough to break it and bend it to your own will,
Yeah.
So you might get an artist with a golden ratio and they'll throw a line down and they'll throw the spiral and they won't move out of that. They won't move out of that at all. And then what you'll start to see is like popcorn movies. I've seen this movie before. It's all got different actors in it, but it's the same movie. Because in the Hollywood desk, they've got, the 7 rules of movie making. You kiss the hero at this point, you know what I mean? It goes on. I think I've seen all this before. That's the danger with golden ratio. That's the danger with it. So if anyone's doing that, I would say move the line a little bit. Make the spiral at different sides. Do you know what I mean?
We got the call to adventure, a refusal of the call.
That's it. That's it. You had it onto your desk. You're a Hollywood executive. You've got it onto your desk. That's what they do. Poor script writers come and they're under the desk. They're only 20-something. They're under the desk going, call the adventure? Oh, I don't see it in your script. That's why. Yeah, it's Campbell, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's helpful
But it worked.
as a start. I like this idea where you grow out of the story and come out on top, and then you can just keep on.
Why did you have that, Rachel? Why do you have that at hand so easily?
I was looking at
How
it.
did you? It's a bit of a coincidence.
I was just looking at it yesterday.
It's a magic trick. And you pulled it out of your drawer just like an executive.
Yeah, I just got everything.
Okay.
It's so... I'm not sure. I more weird stuff or we're drawing like these strange little creatures. And then I think this is where I found Proco. Was like,
That's Proco, yeah.
yeah, this is like some Proco stuff. And then this is me, like, I had like ideas for characters for a comic, but I wasn't doing anything with it yet. And this is like a different storyline I had come up with. And then with some creatures.
Oh, look at that little sad fellow in the top left there. Breaking my heart right up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name?
I don't know. I don't know what that guy is. I don't know how to like get it closer to the camera either. But yeah, he's just got a big head and a tiny body and even tinier arms. Playing with the proportion was always fun too. And then it's like the rule of thirds thing. Like, you know, I could make his head bigger or his legs shorter, or like, you can just like keep playing with that. You can keep coming up with characters like forever. Like, yeah, and then just like, again, little detail going up his back, a little bit of detail here, but just, I don't know, I'm just like having fun trying to play with it. And yeah, I don't know how to explain some of this. These were like some compositions that were kind of cool. I was like just trying to figure out how to like lead people into a composition, how to frame it.
I think your compositional skills are one of your strongest suits. I'm really invested in all of those. I think the shadow and light in those are really beautiful. Do you think maybe that the shadow and light in your art is so solid because you come from a very sunny climate and you're able to observe that? Do you draw outdoors a lot?
Yeah. It's just I like the contrast. I like it catching people's attention, I guess, is probably what that's more about. It's just like, and then the confidence to just like put it down. Like I love like the Frazetta, you know, he's like the way he does that.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out how he does that. These big landscapes where you're like looking out forever and the mountains and stuff. That's definitely like from, you know, coming from a place like that. It's like you take in your environment and, you know, it's I want to put that into my art where I can.
That is a really interesting question, Patrick, because I mean, I would describe Virginia as kind of a high contrast place, especially in the summer. It gets really bright, and then there's, you know, a lot of forests, so it's really dark at the same time. And I kind of see that in Rachel's work. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Like people, like, they go out into the woods and it's quiet and it's dark at night. They get creeped out. I like it.
Me too. I like it.
I'm out there, unless, you know, you don't do anything dumb. You're not trying to like upset the bear, but it's peaceful, you know, like. But yeah, more this. Yeah, there's some mountains. Always with the mountains. Coming back to that.
What are the mountains called, Rachel? The mountains where you are.
Appalachian Mountains.
That's it, the Appalachian. That was that movie I was watching with Reese Witherspoon. She does the Appalachian Trail. Is it Appalachian?
Yeah, Appalachia
Trail. She does the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she ends up in Ashland. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. Ashland is more Piedmont, I guess.
Yeah.
But Appalachia goes, you know, from Maine all the way down to Georgia. I don't even know where the bottom of it is.
Wow.
Jeez. But yeah, I got to live there for a while.
We have another question.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess anyone can answer this question. Cosmic Squirrel says, I've nearly finished the first read of Atomic Habits. What did you find was most applicable to art?
Atomic Habits.
Yeah, the book that we talked about
last time. Yeah, well, we talked about Mastery. Atomic Habits is a book with the yellow cover. It's
we talked briefly about it.
Okay. I read it. Do you have an answer for that one? I mean, like, it is more of a lifestyle, and it's more about the consistency of it. A book that I've been reading recently now, by Rick Rubin, The Creative Act.
That's a good one.
that's another. I bet it would pair really well with Atomic Habits and probably bridge that gap for you. But yeah, it's putting yourself in a place where like art happens, if that makes sense. Eliminating things out of your life that would work against your ability to create. And he's got a really good way of putting things, and it's a really easy to read book. I think he's like he's produced a lot of people, and he's a sober guy. He'd come back from making a rap label album, and then come back, and then he would write some notes down at the end of the day. And this book is a collection of those notes about all the different artists he worked with and all the different processes he witnessed, and things that worked and didn't work. And it's a book that's a conglomeration of all of that. And it's one of those things where I just love it. It's just like puts words to something, You're like if something catches you, you're like, you gotta follow that. And so the more you do that, it's like the better you get and the more creative you become. This is me trying to figure out hands. For the longest time, I didn't know how to draw hands. And so one day, like I think I did all of this in a day or two. I just became obsessed with drawing hands for a minute to try and figure out how. But yeah, those were really fun. I like doing those. Let's see. I'll go to another one. Let's see. Which one next?
What was the book that Marshall recommended? And I says, I'll go get that. He says, no, don't go get that. That's a terrible book.
There was the other mastery book that we mentioned that wasn't.
Oh yeah, terrible. Don't even talk about it. Yeah. But it wasn't that. It was another. I wondered if it was Atomic Habits because I didn't read it.
I have that. I read it years ago. I don't remember. It didn't stick with me clearly.
Maybe someone brought it.
Yeah, The Power of Tiny Changes. It's all about that.
Yeah.
1% improving 1% every day compounds over time. Every time I see percentage, I sort of go, I don't know, numbers and art, they're not the same thing. 1% each day. I better write that down, 1% each day. Hold on, that's 100 days. I'm done. It doesn't make sense, Yeah. 1%, so it's 100 days. 100 days, I'll be the king of the mountain. So that doesn't make much sense to me. So a lot of those books are gimmicks. But I don't know. I can't comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't comment on Atomic Habits because I haven't read it. Because I think it was the one that Marshall says, no, it's not really the book to read. But it might not have been that book. But the viewer read it.
Stuff, it's like real business minded, and it's like the art mind almost works in the opposite way. The art and the business mind are two different minds.
Yeah, that's right. 10,000 hours? I mean, I know people that are counting 10,000 hours. I mean, that's just crazy.
I mean,
what do you when you get to the 10th? You get to the 10,000. What do you do then?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the story then? And imagine the disappointment when you get to 10,000 and you know better.
Oh yeah, it's like, what are you practicing?
So it's not. What are you practicing?
Yeah.
The doomsday clock. 10,000 hours coming up, and my drawings still look like jelly. What the hell's going on? 10,000 hours doesn't work. But mileage does. That's the drawing.
I do really like self-help books, and I did read a lot of those at one point in my life, and they were helpful. The Slight Edge was the one, I think, the first one I read where I was like, oh, like no one had like told me that the little things you do every day compound over time and make a big difference by the time you hit, about 40 years old maybe. And so it's and that stuck with me. I was like, what if I just like draw every day?
Yeah, well, Einstein said that. He says that compound interest is one of the ninth wonder of the world or something. Compound anything. If you do something every single day, save money, save a couple of pennies, you'll end up with a fortune. So there's truth to it. Yeah, the worst thing you can do is not draw. Procrastination is the worst thing. Waiting for inspiration is the dumbest idea. I don't like to say there's dumb ideas because no idea is dumb, but that's a dumb idea. Waiting for inspiration. Just start scribbling.
I think
Rachel.
Motivation is kind of dumb. I think inspiration, like you shouldn't rely on those types of things. It's just more about doing it. And another thing is like people are really scared at like just carrying a sketchbook around. Like I'm like sitting in restaurants. I'm like hanging out. Like I would just like pull this thing out and start drawing wherever I was. Make sure this is like focused okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing for meeting friends. If you're in a city and you're all alone, you pull your sketchbook out in a park or
Yeah.
something or in a restaurant. Someone will come over and talk to you.
Yeah. Like I
And I guess that's what people are frightened of that as well. They're frightened of interaction, but it's the best thing. I had a friend who went all the way around Europe with his headphones in. I says, and I didn't know he had the headphones. I says, "Did you have a good trip? I hope you didn't walk around with your headphones in because you don't meet anyone like that."
Oh
And he just
yeah.
stared blank. I says, "You did, didn't you?" He says, "Yeah." I says, "Did you meet anyone?" He says, "No. It's the loneliest trip I ever had." So people see your headphones and go, "Oh, I can't talk to him." But if you pull a
Yeah.
sketchbook out, you've got friends.
Yeah.
Art
Yeah.
makes
And
friends.
if you
That's
walk
that's great, pal.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much to that. Like if you're walking around with your headphones in, people aren't going to approach you, and it's also affecting like it's a whole tangent, but the your visual and audio parts of your brain are very closely connected. And so what you're listening to affects the way you see the world, kind of thing, and
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
affecting you, like what you're listening to and the way you see things. And this the other way around too, like where you look is what you hear. Like if you look at a spot, your ears are gonna focus in that spot too. um but anyway, it's just something to like the way that the mind works is also something that has greatly interested me over time. And so I'm like, I don't know, I like the feeling of like the satisfaction of like a good drawing. And I think this is about the time it was like this might be like 2018, 2017 ish, where I like started to like be able to do that, where it was like all of a sudden like all it's all like coming together. This is like something I drew out of my head. It's like looking okay. It's like that's so satisfying. It's like why wouldn't you want to?
It is
Um,
exactly.
it took it took forever to get to a place like that, and not every drawing is gonna be your favorite drawing. And sometimes I do use a bit of reference, but uh, if I do, I'm trying to design out of it. I'm not copying it. Yeah, a lot of this it was like I was a host at a restaurant, so I'd just be sitting up front, bored between the lunch and the dinner rush. And that's what a lot of this is. Is just I would have my sketchbook and I would just be drawing. Huh. I'll push it down. Sorry, I didn't notice. But yeah,
That's brilliant. That's a brilliant use of time right there.
yeah, yeah. So, and then you try watercolor and you're like, oh my goodness, that didn't work on that paper.
Love watercolor.
Yeah, yeah. I've always loved watercolor too. Um, more like just big, cool shapes, weird stuff. I don't like one of the things that didn't like click in my head, and I'm still figuring out is like you gotta have like some sort of direction for your drawings for them to make any kind of sense. It's like let's see, like what is it about, and what kind of story are you trying to tell? I don't know if I understood these things so well. That's not that someone else did that. Again, someone else. Oh. Sometimes I hand my sketchbook to other people and I'll just let them draw in it. And so I like this monkey still.
That's unusual.
Yeah, I
I've never
still
heard
like
of
this
that,
guy.
Rachel. Is that a common thing or is that your thing? Handing your sketchbook to someone else?
I think it's more of a me thing. I don't know anyone else who's done that exactly. At least not quite as much. That's it.
I've never heard that. It's such a social thing. What a great idea.
Yeah. I've gotten some crazy drawings that way. All right, and then this is one that I thought would be
Oh,
fun.
look
All
at that.
right.
What year is this, Rachel?
This
What
would
year
have
is this
been.
one?
This is probably about the time where I found you. So 2018, maybe 2019. I'm like
That's
taking
huge.
Ray Bustos's class, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what is all this? And really getting into it. I think figure drawing is so interesting, and so I just wanted to figure it out. And then it was crazy taking the anatomy stuff because now like all this stuff I was trying to draw out of my head is like suddenly it started getting a little bit better, a little bit better.
Brilliant.
Um, And then notes for class is like what a lot of this is. What is the homework? What is going on? Uh, More studies. This is more
Look
Ray
at that
Bustos.
improvement.
Yeah, and this is like
Look at
tracing.
that.
This exercise right here, Ray Bustos, he breaks down the body. It's the torso, upper arm, upper leg, lower leg, and then back. I don't think he did one for the head, but and then you would just take a week and just like focus on that. So the assignment was, I don't know, trace over a photograph and do the best. And these are the muscles you have to label. And so I did that with a piece of tracing paper. I printed it out and I put tracing paper over it and like graphite pencils. And then I would go over this digitally to color it to like separate out some of those things. And those drawings turned out really cool. And I still like reference back to them sometimes. They turned out like they're great.
Yeah, Ray's a great teacher, but boy, he had a great student there, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
Did you ever show them to Ray? We should have got Ray on the podcast.
Yeah, like, yeah, I turned in this stuff for, it was like a CGMA class, and then he would record it and send it back, was how his class
he didn't do it live?
No, it wasn't a live thing. And so he would, like, open up my homework, and he was just like, oh my god, this was the first time, his class, I think, was the first time I like, had any kind of, like, formal education, like any kind of feedback like that. It's like that's the one thing that's like I'm taking it all in from books. I'm taking it in from the internet. I didn't really have like an actual teacher to give me feedback until that point. So I come into his class and he thought I was very good.
Yeah, very good.
He told
He's
me
such a great teacher.
Keep doing it. Yeah, this was
that's
like
what
one of his sheets would look like for his class, like all just anatomy.
And did you read that, Rachel?
Yeah, like this is just all the vastus lateralis, medialis, and like you have to label all this stuff on each week. You'd have
see
to like,
here's where you know how you're talking about neuroplasty, about different kinds of minds and how they work. See, if I got that sheet, I would just ruffle that up and throw it in the bin. I cannot work with that. I would not be able to work with that. I would go, you know what? I think I'll go to the park and sit with my dogs.
How there's different ways. How did you learn anatomy?
I couldn't learn like that. So what I would do, I mean, the great teachers for me were Ray Bustos, but watching and drawing along with them, that's plenty. And then I make my own notes.
Okay.
But to have that, I couldn't learn from that at all. I wouldn't be able to maintain. So it goes back to that note taking again. Like I tell you what, we had a geography class when I was a kid, and all the geography teacher did was write everything on the board, and we copied it, and then we took it home as homework. None of us learned anything about. None of us to this day knew what geography was about, because we just didn't learn anything at all. We just copied words and didn't maintain it. So I think demonstration, but it depends what kind of mind you've got. But I think that drawing along and taking notes yourself is what's the most important. That's just for me. I don't know. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
And what was the answer, Rachel? Were you able to take that list and memorize it from the list, or did you memorize it from the drawings? How did you do it?
Definitely the drawings. Like I can like recall these drawings way faster than this list.
I can't even look at it. I'm looking away. I can't look.
Oh my god, it's horrible.
I can't look at it. It's like a spreadsheet. I can't do it.
I can
make it go away, Rachel.
If it's something I'm interested in, I can focus on it more. But yeah, it's like this picture stuck with me way more.
That's great.
And so the whole assignment, so you get this, you trace over it, you label all the parts, and then you would take, your drawing, take away the photograph now, just take your drawing and draw another one. And so this was that's drawing based off of that anatomy drawing. Now I'm trying to put the skin back on it. And so, that's
fantastic.
That's a great way to learn anatomy.
Can you just lift that tracing up again? Rachel shows the drawing underneath.
I don't remember who the artist is. You probably know who that is.
See that generation? I think that's probably a student, because there was a terrific book that came out. I'll try and find it, and it was based on the New York drawing classes I can't remember the name of the academy, but Bridgman taught there, and his students, and that looks to me like a Bridgman student. He taught those students so well that the students are hardly remembered now, but their drawings are better than nearly all the professional teachers that came after, because they all lost that skill of taking away the unnecessary and making a design. I mean, look at the design of them. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So if there's a book, I'll try and find it. It should be one of those books we all have. And you can see the progression of time where realism destroyed art, where realism, the focus on copy and then tracing and then measuring and tracing really destroyed that aesthetic, which we see there. It's just the beauty of the form and the light on it was just gorgeous. Those artists, that I could hang that on the wall and look at that every day. But what came after was, for me anyway, a disaster until we got to Nelson Shanks, and he was actually pretty good at bringing some of it back. I gotta find that book. That's a book I think everyone should look at. But yeah, that's a great call from Ray to use that, because that to me is almost perfection in art. What to take and what to not.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful piece of work.
Something else I learned from him was how to identify good reference, and then he also stressed finding a good drawing and not a photograph for at least certain weeks. It's so like someone else has already done a lot of the work and done that design, and they knew what they were doing, and now you're just trying to take it back a little bit.
And what you've done is in a different style again, which is even more beautiful because it's your style now. So I totally agree with that. I think copying photographs is one of the most destructive things. But if you copy art, then you're learning tons, because like you said, the artist has already shown you the way. And then ask yourself the questions: why do I love this? What is it they've done that makes it so beautiful? And you'll start to understand what it is.
Yeah.
So that's what you've done there, and you've made it your own too, which is.
And looking back at it now, there's stuff now that I would have like I love these little shadow shapes. Like I didn't even like pick up on them so much in my drawing, but yeah, just the way that they just like spotted the shadow shapes around. Really like that.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide here. Cause I got this was my final for Ray's class. It was like a full figure that he wanted front and back, and then I found this drawing reference that had two figures front and back. So I did it all in one drawing like that instead of two separate drawings. And so this was a lot of fun to figure out. I like that one. And this arm, oh my god.
Oh, that's the hardest thing. As you've just pointed the hardest. That's the hardest view of a pronated arm that you get right there. Because you've gone all the way down to the long head of the tricep, inserted into the scapula, and then showed a bit on the side. You couldn't have picked a harder pose.
Yeah, I really.
You picked the pose.
Yeah, that flustered me, but I learned so much. And I'm not sure if I even still got it here, but I learned so much trying to figure that out. I figured out the armpit, and then the elbow is still kind of a mystery to me, but this kind of helped me figure that out. Like the shoulder muscles coming to the front now. It's like that. It's like you're trying to like break your brain to figure that out.
What a junction. That's a nightmare. You wake up from a nightmare with that. Did I just draw that angle? Why didn't I change it? But that's what you should do. Challenge yourself. Push yourself into a corner. You'll learn so much. That's a great arm, by the way, right there.
Sorry.
This just going back.
Where are we going now? I don't know. I got so many different drawings. Oh yeah, there's a good. That one. This one's fun.
That one.
Yeah.
There. Oh, the rhythm of all of those pronator muscles down to that index finger is just beautiful.
Yeah, I was just
nicely done.
Yeah, and so
nicely done.
Yeah, and I still don't have like a clear idea for what this creature is or what they're doing or anything, but I just think the design, I was just like this big shape and then like circle and smaller circles and these kind of things going, kind of radiating out. I don't know. I think if I were to do this again, maybe, I don't know. It's kind of cool how these two arms are going together. So maybe this arm would continue out a little bit more, and then these two legs.
That's my favorite drawing. That's my favorite drawing of your whole sketchbook so far.
Yeah.
There's so much design in it, and the anatomy is. There's proof positive how much anatomy can help you draw with fluidity and with confidence, because you're no longer having to flick through books. You're going, I'm going to design this around a pipe that does this, and then I'm going to put some muscle on it, and it's going to look terrific. And it's as simple as that. A little pipe, and then you put those simple muscles. At the end of the day, you've been in my classes. There's not that many junctions in there, not that many muscles. I mean, they're terrifying and they're complicated, but once you learn them as masses, you can design anything. That's a really beautiful arm and hand. That's lovely. Well done.
Yes. And then, let's see. I don't know, like, okay, this one's kind of like an interesting one.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I was just trying to like get through some, because I got more books. What is all this? Yeah, I would like just go crazy sometimes. Start writing.
What's all that you've written down there?
What is all
What is
this?
that all about?
Yeah, this is me trying to figure out the goals for my life. And yeah, I don't know. That was something. I think it's good to sit down and really ponder what you want out of life sometimes, and like spend some quality time.
I'll tell you, Rachel, it's a lost art. It's a lost art. See silence and just yourself with your thoughts. It's so therapeutic. I recommend it for everyone. Yeah. I love this turtle, by the way. What's going on with this? Is he a prehistoric turtle?
I guess. I don't know. I always like drawing animals too. So yeah, some turtle. Yeah. Just having some fun with that.
Because you've got like snapper. You've got snapper turtles or something.
Yeah, snapper.
They hold on to your arm. Have you seen one of those? I've only seen them in movies, and I thought they were a joke.
Oh yeah,
Is it real?
Yeah, they're wild in Virginia. You'll find them sometimes. Like they're scary.
Did he grab you? Did he grab your arm?
Yeah, they can break your. I won't touch one. Like you don't.
They can snap your finger off.
Yeah, you don't touch them. They don't move quick, so you just like walk away. But like you see one, and they have like an alligator tail too. So you like see that, and their shell looks a little bit different. You just like know to like not get near it. I was watching one last year. Huh?
Ashland's prehistoric.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the Blue Ridge Mountains are the oldest mountains in the northern hemisphere.
Oldest mountains in the world.
In the world?
Yeah, I think the Appalachian Mountains, they have to be, right?
Yeah, they're like millions of years old.
I know the river.
Those tectonic plates squashed up there. There's one of my favorite songs is about the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia by Laurel and Hardy. Have you ever heard it?
Which song?
The Blue Ridge Mountains, Virginia by Laurel and Hardy.
I've had to have heard that.
Look it up on YouTube. It's one of my favorite childhood memories. It's so funny.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Look.
I found Frazetta.
That girl.
Yeah.
That's Frank's favorite painting. That's Frank Frazetta's favorite painting.
I was really trying to figure out how he rendered that, and I almost figured it out. And so that was an exciting moment. And then I started going to other artists and trying to figure out how they did.
Can we go back to that?
Yeah.
Can we back to that, Rachel? Because we always think of Frank Frazetta as a god, right? And he is, of sorts. But if you look at Frank Frazetta's first painting of Cat Girl, because he did two versions of it, I think he just painted on top of it, which I wish he hadn't done. But if you look at the first version of Cat Girl, the arm is abominable. It's absolutely abominable. And most of it is not that great, even though it has a nostalgic wonder to it that I still love. And that's why I don't care about imperfections. But if you look at the anatomy of that first Cat Girl, it is off the charts bad. And yet he came back, and of course he must have seen it himself and couldn't live with it. Came back and painted his favorite painting over the top of it. We'd have to get Sarah back on to say if there's still two versions, but I'm pretty sure he painted on top of it. Mm-hmm. But there's proof positive that we're not all born as these amazing things. We have to learn it. And he had to learn it like all of us. And if we just make a scratch and make another scratch and make lots and lots of scratches, we can become great artists. So that we have to dispel the fact that, you're born with talent. Maybe, there's an essence of it in there, but I think anybody can do this if they have a love for it and they continue to pursue it. And if you just check that out with him, which is what we're doing here, we're looking at your progression from a little wondrous child almost into this grown adult and all these fantastic drawings that are getting better and better all the way through it. But even the first ones were terrific. I mean, they were really beautiful. But we can all grow that little charm if we just keep drawing.
Yeah.
I suppose that only 1% every day. Take the percentage idea. That's just nonsense. But if you keep on drawing little wins every day, you'll get great art. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, and like it's like I also understand that there's a massive difference between me and Frazetta just because of like when and where we were born and how we were like there's a lot of circumstances that create
Yeah,
Frazetta around him. And so
it's
like
true.
if he's just a human, we're all human. If he's able to figure these things out, I bet I could too. And yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours behind him, but it's like not impossible. It's like you don't look at that and see that you're like far away from it and then decide you can't do it. At least that's
yeah,
the mindset I always had with drawing. I was just oh, it's just a pencil and paper. If they could do it, I bet I could figure
yeah.
that out too. And it's also very
Well,
humbling because you're like, oh my god, that is so hard. That's so hard. They made it look so easy, and it's so hard. uh,
yeah,
yeah, and then you just go through that spiral over and over and over. But
yeah.
sometimes you
Well, if
have
you come back one,
these moments.
yeah, well, if you come back one page there, if you come back, see that drawing in the top left there.
Yeah, I don't remember who
If
the
you compare
artist.
that, oh, is this a copy of another
Yeah,
artist?
this is copies of other artists.
All right, they're really beautifully done. If
Yeah.
you look at very, very early Frazetta, there's when he was a professional artist, he did a painting once on the cover of a horror magazine carrying a girl. It's atrocious. It's really awful. And your drawings at his age are better than his drawings at his age. So that tells you something, right? So Frazetta
Possibly.
got incredibly, it is true, because if you just look at ages, but he got incredibly good by immersing himself in a world of other artists doing the same thing. He had Al Williamson around him, he had all Roy Crinkle. He had a bunch of artists around him that were all learning at the same time. And because they were a cohort, they were all learning from each other. And so I think that's invaluable that, you've got Rachel and Melanie, right? So there's Rachel and Melanie, and they're learning twice as fast because it's Rachel and Melanie. It's not just Rachel or Melanie. And if you add another two to that, or maybe six, once you've got a cohort of artists that all doing, are all learning at the same time, that's atomic. You're going to
Yeah.
get real there. And that's what I think the reason why Frazetta was so good. And he was just better than the rest anyway. And so they were called the Flegel gang, they called themselves. The Flegels.
Hmm.
Get yourself some Flegels around you. I love that arm, by the way. That arm's fantastic. You're good at forearms.
Yeah,
You've really settled in.
I always appreciated a good forearm, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh yeah, and yeah,
you go.
figuring that out. Yeah, like I just try to have fun along the process. Oh, this was another one. That was yeah, Roberto Ferri. I really
Oh,
like the
he's good, yeah.
composition of this one. More
Yeah,
Frazetta. I did a lot of these for a while. And then I try to do my own
yeah.
thing and I'm like, "Oh, I can't do it now."
That's good.
It's like I'm getting
Yeah,
closer though. I'm getting closer to something cool. But yeah, it's like for me too, I didn't have the studio around me. I would find friends along the way though. Like Melanie's one that's been my friend for a while now, and like you find people you can draw with, and that's I've always loved doing that. It's like you show up and let's see, and I think that might be about it for this one. But just you show up to a new place and you don't know anyone. This is a foot in the door, and it's like I always find the artist very quickly everywhere I go. I like to surround myself as much as I can. All right, and now I'm gonna
yeah. I think
fast
it was what you
forward
called.
one more. This is the last one. This is my most current one. For
Can I
anyone
ask a
that's
question before you go any
uh
further?
huh.
Rachel, this is a much smaller sketchbook. Was that a matter of choice, or did you just have a nice sketchbook that was small?
Well, actually, it was like I don't know where they went. I got smaller ones, and so for the past handful of years now, I've worked on a farm. I've worked on a couple of farms, and it's harder to have that break where I'm just like sitting there. Like I like to carry the sketchbook with me, and so yeah, and so I had these sketchbooks that were even smaller. They fit in my pocket, and so I would just take those out
Oh,
on lunch break, and I would be drawing in those. And I don't I seem to have misplaced them at the moment. But yeah, they were just like these little ones, and I would just, on my breaks, just be drawing. And I'm drawing from life too. That was another thing. I'm working on the farm. I got this little book, and now all of a sudden, I'm not like in an office or a restaurant or like something, or I work like it's everything around me is like alive and breathing, and that's really interesting to me. And so I start drawing like the stuff all around me. And so this is my newest one. The farm I work at currently, I can have a slightly larger book. But so I try to keep it portable though, but it doesn't have to fit in my pocket anymore. But yeah, so I started this one late last year, and I've just been adding to it a little bit. Let's see. Does that look okay? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, and so I might just like pick up a leaf and try to copy the leaf. I might, look at that thing.
Well, it looks like you've got watercolors with you.
This is those pens that have like 4 colors on them? It's like
is that what it is? I had one when I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah, so I got
What a great idea.
I got that pen, and then I have one that's pink and blue, and that's what a lot of this is. And that's so convenient too, because you have like all these colors in one thing, and then every now and then I would come home and I add more to whatever's going on. But yeah, I try to this keeps me like just interested in what's going on in the world around me, and then maybe I'm trying to think of something else. I'm figuring something else out. What are these people doing? I'm like thinking of other kind of abstract shapes and stuff. Just experimenting, and this cat. There's a cat that was hanging out on the farm. Yeah, I like that cat. Stuff. All right, sorry.
Is that you, Rachel? Is that an idea of you as a giant working on the farm? Is that what's in your head there?
Maybe. It's like more of the stuff where it's like the figurative stuff with the flowers, and I was just trying to think of a cool shape, and so it's like I started with just like a scribbly like red drawing of just like a figure with like a big shape and like some kind of background, and then I just like started filling it in, and this is what it came to. There's not much more going on with that. It's like, I try to like maybe come up with like a rhythm to it or like a feeling or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of this kind of, and then trying to build a composition. I don't know. Let's see, what's something I didn't finish, but it's like some roses, and then more imaginative stuff. Except now they're like getting more developed. Now I'm like, what is this guy? He's a warrior with a short sword and a shield, and he's a radish head. He's got a radish for a head, and he's got a fight. And this is the barbarian. Now I'm like able to label these guys. They got personalities. They got story. They got some substance to them. It's like now it's like I got a warlock. A warlock radish. I think that was supposed to be a wizard. But just like having fun with it, and then going back to just more boring things. Tadpole.
Oh, love that. Is radish one of your crops?
Yeah, we all kinds of vegetables. Yeah, and so I'm sitting there all day pulling radishes out of the ground, and then I sit down on my lunch break. What do I want to draw? It's like it starts to.
Did one of the radish seem to have a face on it? What made you think of the radish head men? Did you pull a radish and go, that looks like a face?
I mean, sometimes they do. They got little personalities. Every single one you pull out looks a little different, And then you start to like think about, what it would be like to be a radish, and then your mind just you start digging. You've been digging in the dirt too long. You don't know what you're thinking anymore. But yeah,
sounds to me like you might be smoking a doobie as well.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you have a fever dream.
Yeah. Having too much fun out there. Yeah. But I want to give Melanie some time to present as well. Do you want to present?
Oh, that's lovely.
I ran out of time.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we can do Melanie's presentation another time.
What? We're not going to see Melanie's drawings.
Huh? What? Okay. She doesn't want to present today. We'll do it another time.
What? Are you being shy, Melanie? Have you gone shy?
I'm just still a little under the weather.
Melanie's drawings are fantastic. Look, I'll tell you what, if it makes you feel any better, I'll show my drawings from when I was 10.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I mean, we could go there if you got your 10-year-old
Wait till you see
drawings.
that. Well, we'll wait till the end of the sketchbook. I need to take a little break for a second anyway.
Yeah, okay. Well, this book is not full, but yeah, it's.
What was that one, Rachel? That was a good one.
Sorry. A lot of these just look
Two
the same to
pages
me.
back.
This one?
Next one. One more page.
This one.
That one. What's
that one caught your attention. All right. Yeah, it's another one. I was just like had this idea for like a composition with a figure in it, and the figure is like tight in a little box, and then I don't know, like that was like literally the only start to this thought, and then I had like a pink drawing underneath of this, and I just started scribbling this like kind of cool shape like that, and then just a circle for the head right in the middle, and and then you start this other shape is like now countering this shape, and I'm just like experimenting with like what fits together, what kind of shapes designed together look interesting to me, and that's more what it's about. And these characters that come up over and over, I just try to like, I don't know, develop them a little bit more. I think it's fun to put little
drawing. Yeah, it's funny. I was talking about that the other day when I was doing a recording about how if you put yourself in a corner, let's say you've only got this much space to draw in. Let's say that the space looks like that. You got to fit a character into it, and then you get something really fresh because you're confined to that corner. And so that's why it caught my eye, because it has a flow to it within a box. That the whole figure has to fit into that box, and so you had to lift the legs up and turn the arm around, and it gets really interesting result.
Well, it's more ideas of that golden ratio kind of ideal, just a little bit. It's like this like radiating kind of thing, and like it all is like leading up to like this area here, like everything kind of goes like that, and then the overlapping, so you want shapes to be overlapping, and
well, I think that's better than the golden ratio. I think the problem with the golden ratio is it fits into a box. So you get a box, even though I just said fit yourself into a confined area, but that's always the same box. So I think if you take the box out of the golden ratio and just use the rhythm of small constant, like right back to the very start of your sketchbook, the golden ratio for me is important, that it becomes a smaller spiral, and then there's a concentrated bit of detail, and then there's a big mass that's spiraling up to that. It's cosmic, spiraling up to that point, like a spiral galaxy almost. But the fact that it's always going to the same spot is the only problem I have with it. And I think that's where Frazetta was so dynamic. It's because there was always a spiraling of shapes, a rhythm of shapes. It was, even though we worked within a triangle, he still had this rhythm every once in a while. He still had a rhythm that was much better than any other compositional. I think boxes are what I rail against. I think boxes are a bit, for me anyway, a little bit destructive, even though we're always working on a box format. Pages are boxes. But to try and get a rhythm within there, that's why I always leave lots of space around the page. So I'm not thinking about boxes. Oh, that's just me. It's too structural and confined. But under that, to fit something of a flow inside of that confined space, I think it's a great exercise, what you've done there. That's why it caught my eye.
Yeah. Like rhythms.
You need rhythms.
Yeah, I think rhythms might be like the most important thing. If you can like figure out how to just make your make your drawings just more visually appealing by rhythms, putting, designing where the smallest shapes go, designing where the medium shapes go, designing, where the largest shape is, and then, what is like kind of like more of a simple area and what's a more complicated area, and how do you contrast those two things on either side of it. And those are the types of thoughts going through my head when I'm drawing this type of stuff. It's like, oh, it's like flat back here, so it feels like there should be something coming out the other side. I don't know. Like, just if you take the silhouette of that shape to make it more interesting. But yeah, all those little rhythms in there, even the toes, it's like leading you back. Making it more interesting.
That's why I stopped in it. Always be thinking, there's a masterclass from Rachel there, always be thinking about the form itself and what's outside the form as well. The negative spaces, it's called. If you're always thinking while you're drawing, you're always going to be enthused by it. Whereas if you just, I think that's why I'm down on render a bit. When you're rendering, all you're thinking about is render. There's no other thought, really. That's it. It's you're just referencing something else and rendering it. But that idea of rhythm and balance of forms and asymmetry, when things become symmetrical, they get really dull. Fence posts, they become
Yeah.
really dull. But this rhythm constantly of big and small shapes, and I think that's why I love your drawing so much. Is there's always a big. I mean, look at the even if let's say it's totally abstract, the bigness of the bottom, that spiraling up into that cabbage coming into it is really beautiful. Bernie Wrightson-esque almost.
Yeah, and then it's like this is a third, this is a third, this is a third, but they're not the
Yeah,
same size, and
they're not
you
big.
just
Yeah,
like you start from a blurry big image, and then you slowly start to kind of bring it into focus, and
yeah,
that's what I always am doing, over and over and
yeah,
over and over.
yeah. And even the white around that form, it just showed distance. You didn't even put a cloud in it. It seemed like a million miles behind it.
Yeah, yeah, it's once you like that, yeah, figuring out how things overlap, pushing things back. The more you can like kind of push things into the background, the bigger you can, make that world.
Yeah.
It's a sourdough recipe there for anyone interested.
Listen, I love sourdough.
I did trying to figure
That's
out
my
how to
favorite
make
bread.
it. It's hard.
I was just I made the other day oat and fruit cake without any sugar, and it was
Whoa,
delicious.
that sounds so
And now I
good.
can finally, it's so soft. And now I eat that and go, there's no sugar in this. I can eat cake again because I stopped eating cake because it would just give me headaches.
Uh
And it was
huh.
delicious.
So you don't.
I'll send you the recipe.
So you had fruit in it though,
No,
right? You had to.
no sugar at all. Well, it's natural fruit, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm hitting myself to think it's not full of calories, but it's delicious and no
Yeah.
headaches. It's really terrific cake.
That
Oat and
sounds.
banana and apple and blueberry. Oh my word. What a beautiful thing it
Man,
was. Two eggs in it.
that sounds
That's
awesome.
beautiful. It is awesome. I
I
have it every day.
want some cake now. I have such a sweet tooth. I gotta stop. It's,
Me too.
uh,
That's why I stopped.
uh, but yeah, more just figuring stuff out. Monkeys. I always like
Monkeys.
drawing monkeys. Monkeys every day.
Yeah,
More and more
monkeys are great.
plants. So I'm taking all that stuff that I
Yeah.
learned, doing anatomy drawings, and I'm like, how do I kind of apply the same thing to plant matter now? And like the
Well,
way,
plants are fantastic. Yeah,
yeah,
plants have got so much rhythm to them. They're just, that's why the Victorians used them in their designs, especially ivy. They had it in ferns, they had it everywhere. Because a fern is the golden ratio, if you look at a fern.
yeah.
It's all
Well,
the
a
way up and
lot
it
of
spirals.
stuff.
And
Yeah,
yeah.
a lot of plants are. It's like I'll have more, but yeah, this was a cool one. Like all these, I was obsessed with these monks for like 2 months. That was so cool. That was so cool. And then,
Monks for 2 months.
yeah, yeah. Did you hear about the monks that walked across America?
I did. I did actually hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they walked right down
Weren't they
my
wearing
street.
Nike?
They walked right down my
Did they? Did they
street.
wear Nike? Did I see some with Nike slippers on?
Yeah, so some
Nike
of them were
shoes.
barefoot, some of them were more comfortable. I think the oldest one was like 70 years old.
Well, we'll let him have Nikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some of them got like tattoos on their legs too. It's like they're all just people. They're not perfect, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just like it was just nice. It was just a nice thing. It's like people are just like handing them
Yeah.
flowers. And the dude walked all the way up to DC, and then he declared these 10 vows. And so I wrote those 10 vows down because I thought they were so awesome, especially the way the world has gone since. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so. I don't know if I should get, but. Huh. You like number 7? All right.
Well,
May progress always walk together with morality and growth, never be built on human suffering. So,
absolutely.
progress with morality and growth. That's what we're here for. But yeah, all of those are
Well,
great.
that describes art. That describes art
Yeah,
right there.
yeah. And then, oh, so this was a fun day. I spent a whole day
That's
trimming
not.
these 3 apple trees. And I was sitting there, these
Did
apple
you?
trees. It was like I was trying to plan out my attack on them, and I was designing what the tree might look like after it starts growing leaves. And so I was like thinking about that on lunch break.
So you saw the future.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. And then, various states of growth kind of hanging out and dying. It's like I see all that. You see all that. You walk across the yard. Big tree that I saw. And I was trying to figure out how to do this like crazy perspective where it was like going up and away. And I started to kind of figure it out on the top corner here where it's like I put it in a box and then suddenly it made a little bit more sense. But just, you see a cool tree, you're like, how do I draw that? Just some little things. That one, I don't know. It's like some people at the farmer's market. Let's see. What else do I have in here that's interesting?
Love a farmer's market. It's always a nice day, the farmer's market.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to... Okay, so this is like... There's not much left here, but there's a bunch of daffodils sprouting up right now, like a load of daffodils all over the place. And so I'm sitting down trying to figure out how to draw these flowers, these yellow flowers. They're all over the place. They're the first thing that blooms in the springtime here. And they got... I don't know, just like... been obsessively drawing a lot of daffodils trying to figure out even the pattern at which they like open up. It's like you start to learn more about how the plant works, and then suddenly your design of the plant gets a little bit better. And I think like right here is like where I really figured it out. I don't know, I'm just like so happy with how I just drew this one the other day. And
Nice.
Yeah, nice little flower.
Yeah, I love that.
But yeah, that's the end of my presentation here. Yeah, that's what I drew today on lunch break. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, this is like a fun way to spend some time.
Yeah, I want to see Patrick's comic.
Patrick's comic.
That's what it is, right?
Well, we'll have a look at that in a minute. I've just got to take a quick break.
Okay.
See if there's any questions. Because that must have fueled a few questions right there.
Yeah. Do we have any more questions in the chat?
I kind of asked them as we were going along. We have some comments. We got some thank yous.
Love the cohorts.
Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, that was an awesome presentation. Thank you.
Was
Rachel.
I'm glad.
I don't know if anyone can hear me right now with it.
I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, that was fun.
I feel like you really told a story through time.
Yeah, you want a story.
Yeah.
How do you? These are just like my little sketches, and people see you doing that, and they're just like, "How'd you get there?" And it's like, well. There's a lot of bad drawings. Yeah, it took a lot of bad drawings.
Well, I don't know if I call Anna's bad.
Well, they get better. They get better.
They do get better.
They get more informed. You get more educated. And yeah. They get cooler. You have more fun. It's more satisfying.
Yeah. Drawing makes you cooler.
Yeah, drawing makes you cooler.
Yeah. Just the facts.
Yeah. I want to see your sketchbooks now.
I'll share the sketchbooks at some point.
Okay.
I can't do it tonight.
Okay. Do you think he's grabbing his comic?
I'm not sure if he has it digitally or if he's just, taking a water break.
That was the last time we ever saw Patrick J. Jones. Just like that, the aliens have abducted him.
The tariffs got him.
Man. I'm not sure.
I mean, how many other sketchbooks do you have that you didn't show?
A million. I got so many sketchbooks. I just grabbed a few of them. Yeah, I don't even want to open any more right now, but do I? Yeah, this is one that I didn't open earlier.
What era is that one from? Oh, I remember that.
Oh, yeah, 2018. Yeah.
That was the one that you had at the restaurant?
Probably. Yeah.
I remember seeing that dog drawing.
You remember that drawing? It stuck with you?
I think it's, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's seared into my retinas.
Yeah. It's like I'm trying to figure out all that perspective and complicated stuff over here. You gotta like bring contrast to it.
Yeah, gotta have a little sense of humor.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my inspiration. But yeah, I just think sketchbooking is important as far as getting better at drawing.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it easy, especially if you carry a small one around with you all the time.
Yeah, I think it's great to have the convenience of the thing in front of you too. I think that's great. What's great about like Procreate and the iPad too.
Yeah. Convenient.
All right. Do we have anything else to add here, Patrick?
Did we have questions? What did we hear? What did I miss?
We didn't have any questions.
I was diligent about asking them
No?
throughout.
Yeah.
What was that, Melanie? I didn't hear you.
I was diligent about asking them throughout the presentation.
All right.
No
Oh,
more
Melanie, when are we going to see yours? No more questions. Well, I'm sad I'm not seeing your drawings this week. So we'll have to make that another episode.
Yeah, maybe next month.
So yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to bring up that old thing. I'll tell you the story behind it. So my mother was really, really supportive in my younger years when I was like 10 or 9 or all the way back. I can't remember when I started drawing Daffy Duck or something, you know? And she used to show my drawings to her best friend up the street, who was called Molly Clark, and she'd bring them up the street to her. Now, I remember doing a big drawing once. It was my favorite, on a big roll. And she brought it back and she had it in her purse. I says, where's my drawing? She had it in her purse. And she'd folded it up into squares. She says, I kept it nice for you, folded it up. It was big creases all the way through it. So she didn't understand that ruined the drawing. And that's the only memory I really have of those early days, that my mother ruined the drawing by being nice. She thought that folding it up kept it neat and just destroyed the whole thing. And that's the only memory I have.
Wow.
And all I can remember is I drew Spider-Man. And then this cousin, far distant cousin, sent me drawings. She says, I don't know how I came into possession of this, but my mother, when she died, Molly Clark, had a treasure chest of things that she treasured, you know, little ornaments and stuff. And in there was my drawings from when I was a child. And I just saw them the other day. And that's why I thought I'll show them today, because I have no recollection of drawing any of it at all. I have zero recollection of it. And I thought, is it even my drawings, until I saw
that's a weird feeling.
that I didn't. I know. And then I thought to myself, what kind of child was I? I had to dissect the drawings. I go, there's something, so I'll show them to you. Why did I do this? But I remembered the little box in the corner. It says written by Padre John, drawn, because I had a big ego about one day I'm going to have my own empire and do all my own IP and stuff. Written by, drawn by, produced by. And it was obviously in reference to the Marvel comics that had all of that. You know, they always had a little box that told you who did all the drawings. So that was my aspiration, because I thought people do this for a living. Because Marvel comics showed me that there was actually people doing this. As if you couldn't think that. But for some reason, I just thought comics were done by machines or something. I don't know what I thought. But that was in my mind. Anyway, I think I can share the screen. I'm not too sure. Can I?
I might have to do one thing here. Make host. Alright, you should be able to share your screen now.
Okay. Let's have a look. Share. Requesting to bypass the system. Okay. Allow, I think. Entire screen. Yep. Share.
Look at that. We figured it out.
All right. I think so. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to this first one here. And that's what I was saying earlier about dating drawings, you know, putting a time on them was really important. I wish I'd put a date on this. I searched all over for a date and I couldn't find anything at all. But what I did discover is I don't know what the hell it's the kind of leaf blower. I tell you, I'm not a grumpy person, but see leaf blowers? Abominable. If I ruled the world, they'd all be destroyed and smashed in a big sheet. And everyone would watch a leaf blower, yeah. They blow leaves upon. Do you have them in America?
Yeah, I just never knew people hated them so much.
Oh man, I just detest them. Somebody just blowing leaves around in another position, and then someone blows those leaves. Anyway, that's my grump for the day. But yeah, so look here, written and bitten by Patrick Jones. Now, I don't know what kind of child I was, but what the hell does that even mean?
Whoa,
Sawn and drawn, Patrick Jones. Storied and toried. What? What does that even mean?
that's so
So I was
intense.
looking.
That's awesome. So what all is going on there?
Dissect here is he is from a different world, and that this might be a computer screen. Can you see my cursor? You
No.
see the little arrow? No?
Oh
I
yeah,
think he's
now I
looking at a
can a
computer
little bit.
screen. Yeah, I think he's looking at a computer screen, and I think it's maybe it looks like a lab, but there's curtains here. It seems to be someone's bedroom, and I think
Interesting.
it might be my room. I think that's my room.
That's your
I had a
room?
little box room. Yeah, I had a little box because there was four sisters, and there was me. And at a certain age, it was I shouldn't be sharing the room with my sister. So I must have been about 10. And my
Uh-huh.
dad just got a big slab of drywall next to the kitchen and slammed a wall and a door there. And there was just enough room for the bed. And that was me. I was in there. And I
Okay.
looked out onto the yard. I remember that. So I'm pretty sure that's what that is. It's been, look, I couldn't spell the word since. Sins.
I
And that's how
still
I knew it
can't.
was definitely me. That's how I definitely knew it was me because I was always an atrocious speller. It makes me kind of homesick. So I'm already in love with America here. See that we didn't say kind of. So that was an American affliction. So I was already in love with the idea of going to America, which was a big long time dream for me. It's still sort of see funny feeling you actually being in Asgard. So I must be reading Thor from Marvel Comics and me being the golden god. So I've got this whole American stick going on.
Yeah.
And he leaves the lovely Enchantamergo. So I've invented some character called Enchantamergo. I have no recollection, not even a skerrick of recollection of doing any of this. It's not incredible.
Interesting.
But you can see that I'm interested in anatomy because I don't know what the hell that is in there.
Yeah.
But, some of it's actually looking a bit accurate,
Yeah.
even though I just make it all up.
Yeah, you're
So I'm
really
seeing a little bit of that.
you're really inspired by those comic panels, and you got it.
Yeah, Jack. Yeah, it's definitely Jack Kirby. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about that. And even got a character going. Look, I couldn't spell the word lens. Liens. And I even put an apostrophe in for no
I
reason.
like that guy a lot.
Yeah.
I like that
I
guy.
like his 12 pack.
Yeah.
Like that guy. Super strength, super brains he has, and another apostrophe for no reason at all. And he has skill. He's skilled with super acrobatics. Acrobatics, I must be trying
Whoa.
to write. And super speed. He has all of that. 1 in a million. I could look at that. Excellence, I think that's supposed to say, which changed him into a golden god. There you go. Boomerang Billy Club.
So
That's going to
cool.
sort of know what about. Yeah, look at him.
He's got
He
so
has
many
abs, though.
muscles.
So many muscles, but we don't know what the muscles are.
Yeah, you're trying to figure it out
It's
though. I like
patella.
this. Yeah, those shapes, yeah, I like just like the contrast on it.
It's mad. He's bursting out. Look, here he is. He's bursting out of his own clothes. So he's changing into this super god. He's bursting out of his own clothes. Let's have a look at that.
You also like filled the
He-
entire page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, he's like a pinup. He's a special pinup for if you buy this comic, I think. Yeah, it looks to me like Kaboom over here in the corner. I'm not sure how to revolve this. It says here, I can edit it. Oh, yes, I can. So it looks like, yeah, this is madness. I'm getting bigger and changing color. Gold, he's a gold man. I'm just exploring this at the same time as you. I haven't read this yet. I feel power. Is it cat blasting into his body? Ah, I'm bursting out of my clothes. It's a miracle. I'm alive. I'm alive. The pain? Arg. Yeah. No. What's this? I can see through walls. Well, I didn't know he was going to do that. My hair is turning to gold, and so is my skin. Look at how it's spelled muscles. Muscles forming through my body.
So this is like your
That's pretty good.
6-year-old brain? Like, this is crazy.
No, that's what I regret, that it wasn't dated, so I have no idea. But I tell you what, that's a pretty good panel up there. That's a real Kirby-esque panel. Look at all that.
Yeah.
Blug. So he must have blasted into my bedroom and turned me into a golden god, it looks like to me. But isn't it nice, like I said earlier, about how we look at the imperfection of our art and we don't want to show anyone it. But look what Molly Clark did. Molly Clark put that in her treasure box. Look at it all crumpled up and stuff. She put that in her treasure box with jewelry.
I mean, it's great.
That's how much it meant to her. Isn't that amazing? So everybody loves art.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to show this to my mum. My mum has no idea. This came into my possession a second ago. Not the actual stuff. It was just the woman that sent it to me, photographed them and sent them. But yeah, I won't bore you too much with it. But there's hope for everyone that, we can learn this stuff, because I haven't got a clue. Look at that. Not a clue. Sir, he's got a butler. Look at that. His uniform is growing too. So I had some thoughts. I always thought about the Hulk. He grows from the skinny little guy, and he's wearing shorts, and he grows into the Hulk, but his shorts grow with him. And it was never explained. It didn't blast off. Nobody wanted to see his
you just gotta keep
trousers
it
blast off. Yeah, his shirt blasted off, but not his pants. So I had to explain that. So I must have had a beef with Marvel going, you gotta explain this. I'm busting out of here. Look at that full American. I'm busting out of here. What got him so angry? He smashed something. He's violent right off the bat. He smashed something here. Oh, he's carrying a tray of drinks. I don't want your drinks. Yeah, he smashed all his drinks. What a rude god. A few minutes ago, he was harmless as a puppy. I think he smashed the table. It's cut off.
There's a lot of text.
So is butler.
Yeah.
Yeah. How come I went from a box room to having a butler? And I'm sure now that's a chandelier, isn't it? How weird. This is a journey for me right now watching this. This is nuts. I don't know why his head's tiny. That must be a different character. Just got to make it out for the way out. Oh, somebody's blowing up the whole place.
Oh, there's background right there. Those backgrounds are really cool.
Yeah. Oh, there's a girl. That must be the enchanter. That must be the enchanter Roma or whatever she was called. So he's looking through his screen again. Now watch him. It's actually a pretty good story. They're watching him blowing up. He's got to get out of there, but for some reason his head's tiny.
It's on fire. Maybe he ran out of the room.
Yeah.
Or what do you?
He's making it on. They thought they could burn him alive, and he's made it on with an extra long arm for no reason. I just got to make it out for the way out, but the heat is unbearable. His head's dissolved, isn't it? But it may look amazingly impossible for someone to dissolve into, he is dissolving into nothing, to be transformed into Asgard. All right. I don't understand that, because Asgard's a place. Oh, here's the splash page. Here's the cover. This is the cover. All right, so there it is, the Golden God. This is a giant-sized issue. This is a bargain. Yeah. So free, what? Giving stuff a free poster inside. That must be the pin-up. Wow. Remember the guy just standing by himself? That must have been the free poster. It's just a page. Free giant poster inside, 20 by 25. The Golden God.
You were like putting all this stuff together.
Tunnel.
Yeah, you were like this is you like building a business here. Yeah.
There's the characters. Yeah. There's Enchantorama, or whatever she was called. We haven't seen this guy. This is a shame now, because it's lost. Whatever the rest of this comic went, we didn't see this guy here. And we saw this guy, I think. Or maybe it was just this guy all along. So I think we've only seen this guy and the small head guy. The others have died in the tunnels of death. You are next. Boy, he's brutal, isn't he? When you're a kid, you're so violent. He's pointing to them too. Look, it's such a threat. He's pointing to his extremely elongated arm. He's pointing to the tunnels of death. What an evil person. But here's... No. And there she is, the Enchantorama. What I can't understand is, why is this person here in a different dimension? Do you see, like he's cut off? It's like he's in a different place. That's the thing. That's the thing that disturbs me the most. I have no idea why this character is flat.
Yeah.
He's a flattened character. I don't
Very.
understand it.
Yeah, something happened there. I don't
But
know. I think it's great though. That
it's
I
almost
like
like
the
death.
piles of people and the piles of stuff going on. It's like it's a lot of
And look,
action.
the tunnel goes into the tunnel. Look, the tunnel goes into the actual tunnel. I don't know what that is. There's something in there. I've got to look at this. This is madness. I've got to look at this and understand what the hell is going on. But I tell you, I wasn't frightened. Look at that pronated fore, not pronated yet, but look at the fore, well, sort of. But look at that forearm in perspective.
Yeah, you just went for it.
Fearless. Just
Yeah.
totally fearless. And there's some understanding of the vastus medialis there. Someone, and the patella is definitely right in there. So even though I didn't know anything at all about anatomy, it was sort of there. It was just, I mean, that's not too bad. This
Mhm.
guy here, that's not too
Yeah,
bad at
leg.
all. Yeah. It's madness.
Yeah.
Absolute madness. But there's proof positive that, if you get anybody's drawings, if you go and get Frank Frazetta's drawings from when he was a kid, they'll be like this. They'll look
Uh-huh.
like that. Anybody can learn it. It's the love of it. I mean, how long did that take? I must have been in my room all day long doing that. That's
Yeah.
that's forever. I mean, that's inked. That's penciled and inked. That's madness. That is true dedication right there. From I don't know what age. I
Yeah.
wish I had a date. I'm
Yeah.
guessing 10, maybe 9. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Like total non-recollection.
Yeah.
It has to be so far on, so long ago. I'll have to get in touch with that person and see if they have anything else. It's incredible.
That's
And
so cool.
and you go forward here, and then you go forward and you go, that was a lifetime ago, and now we can draw. You just take the time and it all comes together.
Yeah, you're passing it
Still
on.
loving it. Yeah, and passing it on, and like you are as well. So this is what I was putting together yesterday. Just sort of spitballing how to introduce the next course that I'm doing, the Wizard's Apprentice. What a segue that was.
Yes.
But look at the drawing now that comes from it, all that, drawing from imagination and the lines and the beauty of it. And this is what I really needed to learn at that time, was that figure on the left. If I had that when I was a kid, that kind of instruction
Uh-huh.
from the get-go, it would have been steroids. It would have been steroids for a kid. And I think that's what's so terrific about what you and Rachel, or what you and Melanie are doing now, is that you have those skills to pass on. And I was just alone in that little box room. So I had nothing at all. I just had what's in here. And that's great. But to have that instruction where I can understand how to put a drawing like this together, for instance, would have just been, I would love to have seen the difference in me now if I'd had that instruction from the start.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been mind blowing to just know how far you could have propelled yourself with, here's how the muscles work, here's how it all goes. And then here's how pencils work. Here's how you can use the edge of a pencil. Even then, I didn't know you couldn't sharpen a pencil to a longer lead. Even that alone, sharpening your pencil to a longer lead would have just changed the whole world. Such a tiny little thing. But we were so used to getting the pencil out of the box, and it had that tiny lead, and then you sharpened it, and it still was that tiny lead because the sharpeners didn't give you a long point. So many tiny little things could have turbo sped my work into the stratosphere. I could have been oil painting at 15, and some people are, but I wasn't. I didn't discover oil painting until I was in my late 20s, I think. So instruction is so important. But this is just a bunch of stuff that I was putting together to show progression
Yes,
of art from digital. From digital art, this is digital art, through to my oil paintings today. And it was interesting going through it because it came at the same time as those drawings came by. I went, wow. So I'm looking at a progression here from, I think this is more modern. This is me now with oil painting. But those digital ones you saw there, they're from 15 years ago. So in a 15-year period, going back to oils, I think the oils are way better, even though we think digital tools are the answer to everything. I mean, it really was amazing. I loved digital art when I was doing it. That's digital. But I didn't have the love for it like I have for oil painting, like this oil painting. And I think as you get older, I'm monitoring everything. I'm monitoring my health as I work on computer. And my health goes down when I'm on computer. I've got a little, see that little bracelet right there?
Oh, okay.
That monitors my, yep, that monitors my blood pressure, right? So I'm just doing a whole health check on myself. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm in good health, really terrific health, actually. But I wanted to monitor my entire health to see if there's anything I can do to make sure that I'm healthy forever. And I wear this. And as I'm sitting here, I'm going to have a look now. As I'm sitting here, just sitting down, my blood pressure goes up. And if I'm on a screen, my blood pressure goes up. If I paint a picture, my blood pressure is perfect. It's optimal. If I get paintbrushes out. Now, what does that tell you? That's something that's hidden unhealthiness that we don't even know. So we're dying slowly by working on computer. So what I've done, just as for everyone, because we want a long life doing this, you're dying on this chair. So that was like the tunnels of death, wasn't it? The tunnels of death. So what I've done now is I won't do it because it'll wreck the whole thing, but I'm working on a Wacom here, and I spent a ton of money. Thankfully, before, remember we were talking before this, my whole business has gone flat because of the world. I bought an articulated arm for this computer, which was over $1,000 an arm, just an arm, and I'm so glad I bought it. It's an industrial arm that could hold a ton. And now I can lift this whole Wacom tablet up to there. And what I do now is I stand and work with the tablet up there. It's fantastic. And I have a stepper down here that's just a little step. And I just go up on my calves like this every once in a while when I feel like I'm not moving much. And boy, my health on this goes way up on the scale. It actually says well done. It says well done. Your blood pressure is optimal. So there you go. So optimal. I've got the same blood pressure probably as you guys. Look at that. I'm so proud of that. Look at that. Nice. Look at that. 114.71. Good Lord. That is an athlete. That's a marathon runner right there. And it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at the start. I didn't, it went rocketing up there. I went to the doctor and I says, Doctor, I've got headaches all the time. And he says, let me try your blood pressure. It was through the roof. And I thought, what's doing that? And I told him my lifestyle. He says, that's very sedentary. I says, but it's not stressful. He says, it's sedentary. You're sitting in a chair and you're just looking at a computer. He said, both those things, your cognitive, because there's two parts to that blood pressure. There's the physical part and there's the mental part. And the mental part was shooting through the roof. So the multitasking was really hurting my health, multitasking this and that. And the minute I stood out of this chair, it came down. And the minute I stopped multitasking, it came down. And now it's perfect. You don't even know. You don't even know the detrimental effects of what we do for a living if you're not careful working on a computer. So that's, for me, I'm talking about as a lifestyle or a long-time project for you guys, is be very aware that if you're on the computer too long, it's really bad for your health. It's incredibly damaging, especially the lights. So I bought this. Look at this. It's so sinister. Watch this. And it works. What do you say? It's ridiculous. So when I'm making movies onto those big lights, they're massive bright lights. When I'm making those movies, the lights are so intense that when I'm drawing, I'm just looking at the sun all the time, right? While I'm drawing downstairs to record.
Whoa, you're cool.
Like Joe Biden. These are actually glasses for reading. And so when I'm drawing, I have these on while I'm drawing. And the drawing now looks like, not for anything. So mostly for the pencil drawing downstairs because I'm working under a big light box. So when I wear these, it looks like dry paper again. It looks like gray paper. So when I'm photographing, because you have to photograph four times as bright to get it on film. So like what you're looking at, the Wizard's Apprentice, that's what I'm filming. So the Wizard's Apprentice, while I'm filming it, it no longer looks like the gray of the paper. It looks blazing white. And so it's really burning right into my retina. So when I wear these, it goes back to what it was. It knocks all the light back down again to as if I'm just in the shadow, like you would in any enclave when you find a shadow under a tree. Everything's clear again, but it's not blazing white. And that's it walks in look like in the future,
Yeah,
I'm gone.
so you're wearing those when you're recording because the light is too bright on the paper.
It's bizarre. And it
Yeah,
was all because of an experiment. It was an experiment to see if I'm healthy in here, because you can't see in here. You
yeah.
can't see it at all.
It's so
I said to Mike, you
this
go on.
this Wizard's
I better take this off.
Apprentice. I'm sorry. This is the new course you're releasing on your website. Like, what exactly is the
Yeah,
Wizard's Apprentice?
this is the Wizard's Apprentice is the prequel to the wizardry course that I did last year. So
Okay.
this is the prequel. So you had the wizardry course, and it was a beginner's course, but I felt that it still was complicated. It was for a very good beginner, someone that's like most people that want to do a course, a very good beginner. So it was like that. This was even more beginner, and it's for the apprentice themselves. So the apprentice, by the end of this, is ready to go into the wizard's chamber and work with the wizard. So that's what this is the wizard's apprentice. And you can see that I go through all of those ideas of just how I learned, which is you draw something, you build it up from shapes. And at the very end, I think what is very important that well hardly anybody does is when you finish this drawing, the central drawing there, go back and draw the beginning of it here on the side and watch how facile you are. It's so fast. And then do it again over here and see how rhythmic you are and how confident you are. And then do it again down here at the barest bones and see just how well you did learn that. It's a bit like taking the notes. So if you just finish a drawing, then do another drawing, a lot of that is gone. A lot of what you just learned is gone. The motor memory is there. It's brilliant. The motor memory. But if you just go back to that time at the very beginning of the drawing again, and it's very scary to do because you don't want to go back to the beginning again because that was hard. And do it again, you realize it wasn't hard because you still have the persistence of memory. You still have the persistence of vision because you've already drawn this. And so that was just, what, a 15-minute drawing. That was only 15 minutes ago or 20 minutes. I can't remember. I think it's a 15-minute drawing. But another thing I want to stress is time is relevant. It might take you 2 hours to do that drawing. It might take you, if you're Jeff Watts, 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Jeff Watts, right? So time is relevant. So let's say it's 15 minutes. So only 15 minutes ago, I started that drawing. And so I go back 15 minutes in time and draw it again on the left. And it's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so enjoyable. And then do it again on the right and then do it again. And now the next drawing I do is so easy because I haven't gone from a finished drawing to a start again. I've gone from a finished drawing to the start of the finished drawing and then to the start of the next drawing. And that is fearlessness. You just go, oh, I'm already in that flow. I'm already in the flow of beginning another thing, rather than this is the start of another big thing. And then you stress on. You go, oh, I think I'll stop drawing for the day because I've already done this big thing. So that's a lot of that is in the Wizard's Apprentice. Let's see, I'll bring some up if you want. If you want to look at some of it, I can show it to you. But if you need to get going, let me know. Would you like to see a little bit of the Wizard's Apprentice?
Oh,
If you've no time,
see
that's
a little
fine.
bit of it. Melanie might be
Yeah.
getting. We might be getting kind of tired over here, though.
Yes, well, you just go on.
Yeah, we wake up
We'll leave
early
it for
for
another.
work.
Oh, no, then definitely. But look, we'll do it on another episode. We'll have a
Okay.
look at it.
Yeah, we
Okay?
can do another episode and talk more about this. This sounds really great. I love the way you teach, and it's influenced the way I work quite a bit. So
Oh,
this is
thanks.
awesome.
Well, I love the way you teach as well. I think you're just perfect for this art agents to bring the next generation in and show them how this is done and to take that fear away of drawing. It's an odd thing that drawing is a fearful thing, but people are frightened, I think, of being judged. There's so much judgmental stuff on the internet because fear and negativity gets hits and likes. So people are, it's quite a grim sort of atmosphere online. And the minute you come offline, you realize that most people are really nice. And so most of the horrible stuff is just by a small amount of people, a tiny amount of people. So it's a misrepresented group. It looks like, oh, we should be following these negative influencers when all they're doing is just doing negativity for their own gain. And if you want to see that in real life, just look at Netflix. Louis Theroux just did a Netflix episode about the manosphere and how destructive and how selfish and how rotten those people are
I'm sure.
in exploiting especially young men, exploiting young men by telling them that they're losers, and the only way they can be winners is to give them money and follow them into the manosphere and be horrible. It's a Ponzi scheme. So a few people at the top are making all the money, and the people at the bottom are being grifted. And I don't want to be a negative person, but it's such an important subject that I think everybody should be aware of it, because it really is part of why the world's falling apart, I think, is that there's so much negativity on the I think it's Instagram mostly where they do. Is it Instagram where all the influencers are? I think it is.
A lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're all over. Yeah, I think TikTok's the biggest one.
Is TikTok the one?
Yeah.
It's just off, and they're frauds as well. They hire out, a bit of a plane. You can go. There's somewhere in Los Angeles, where it's a cutaway private jet, and you go and you get your photographs taken there, and they pretend they're on that plane.
Yeah, it's
They
all
pretend that's the plane, and it's not. It's so made up. Yep. So yeah. So where there is safe spaces with artists and artists that teach, artists that grow together, this podcast is, we're not asking you for any money or anything. Come in and be a part of that kind of lift me up atmosphere. I think if we all lift each other up as artists, this whole thing will eventually right itself. I think the world will right itself again, because they always do. Here's my favorite quote from Abraham Lincoln, right? You can fool some of the people some of the time. You can fool some of the people all of the time. That's where we are right now. You can fool some of the people all of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. And that's the main thing.
Yeah.
So I think that all that stuff will come unstuck, and we'll be back to, do you remember that terrible time when people were telling lies and were being negative? Do you remember those awful times? It's hard to believe that they were once influential, and now here we are and the world's better again. So let's make the world better again. Let's be Star Trek. Let's be Captain Kirk. Let's be the Enterprise. Let's lift it up.
Yeah.
You can cut all that out if you want. That's Patrick's rant.
No, it's great. It's great.
It's the message that we need right now.
Yeah, I think more people need messages like that. And I got one more question. When does this Wizard's Apprentice thing release?
It shouldn't be too much longer, actually, because I am just doing the intros and outros. It's called the B-roll. I only learned that when I went to the New Masters Academy. And the director said to me, he says, okay, we're going to do the B-roll on Friday. And I don't think it's an embarrassing thing to ask the question. I just said, what's a B-roll? And he was such a nice guy. He went, because nobody ever goes, real professional nice people don't go, ha, 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 you don't know what a B-roll is. He looked genuinely happy to tell me. He says, the B-roll is when you do the intros and the outros. I says, that's not what that's called. He says, yeah. So when you introduce all them, and then you what would be the outro? You introduce and then you outproduce? I guess that's what it is. You introduce and then you outproduce all of the components of the course, chapter 1, 2, 3, all of that. And I was just talking to a friend the other day about how I was fooled by Walt Disney. Because Walt Disney used to have a TV show, and it was called The Wonderful World of Disney. Did you see it when you were kids?
No, I never did.
Oh, it was just great. It was great. And every day, every time you watch the show, let's say it came on once a week, Walt Disney would be he'd be at his bookshelf like that. And that's probably what influenced a little bit of this. And he'd take a book off the shelf. And it's like you come into the room as he was looking at a book. And he says, hello. And he was really nice, And his haircut was beautiful, and his suit was immaculate. And he was really friendly, and he would talk to the audience about what they were going to watch. And then he would come back at the end and say, I hope you enjoyed The Three Caballeros, a cartoon or something. And I went, that's wonderful. And then every week he would do the same thing. And I believed that he came back every week and walked into the studio and had exactly the same dress and exactly the same haircut and did that introduction every week. I didn't know he did all of those introductions in one day. And he would do it, and that's why he looked the same every time.
Wow, okay.
So that's what I was doing yesterday. So I was doing all the intros and outros yesterday. It's not insincere. You're actually introducing and outproducing the whole thing every time. But what it does is it's a professional idea. The light's the same, your dress is the same, your haircut's the same, everything's the same. And so it has this continuity to it, which would be bizarre if I introduced chapter 1 or potion 1, and then the next week I had my hair. My hair was like this.
Yeah, like
and I was wearing a checkered jacket. Do you know what I mean? I was wearing a checkered jacket. Imagine what that would be like. So and I'll see you in the next one. The next one, you're like this crazy looking guy, you know? And then in the next one, you're bald. Do you know what I mean? It would just be weird to do it through the months it took to produce the course. So that's what I was doing yesterday. And I forgot to do the introduction and the art production for Potion 2. So what I'm going to have to do is go and look at my haircut in Potion 2 and trim it just down to that exact point. So that so it doesn't look weird, you know? So there's so much to think about. But that's a professional way, if you guys are going to do, you know, a series of things, is that the B-roll comes now. You do the B-roll at the end. And you're clearer also in what you've just produced, because you've just produced it all. You go, because if you write down, that's why the list thing is important to begin with. I have a list here. But once you tick it off, you shouldn't be wedded to it. And so it's just an idea. And then the idea expands and expands. And by the end of that potion I call that are of education, I have explored so many different things beyond that jumping off point that if I was to introduce it based on just the tagline, it would be a different thing. And so by the end of it, I'm able to introduce all of those ideas that accumulated and grew by themselves organically. I'm able to look at that whole thing again and then introduce that, because I don't know what's coming half of the later. That's what makes it so exciting. That's how Stephen King writes his books. I don't know what's coming, but I've got enough, I believe, mileage in me to make it more interesting as I go. And if I was stuck with bullet points, it would be a very dull presentation, because it's obvious that I'm going from one point to another to another. And they took that in the New Masters Academy. They told me an instructor came in with a whole set of bullet points. And it was the driest thing they'd ever done. It was so obvious, even in their eyes, that they were reading something off the chart. And I see presentations like that all the time, where they come in with bullet points and we read off the screen. You might as well just leave the room and let people read off the screen. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that I think that's a very important thing if you're going to teach, is to really know it and don't bring your bullet points into your presentation. So just don't do that. You may as well just put the slide on and walk away. So there's a little bit of background knowledge for anyone who's going to present and make something of their own. So you really know it like you guys are doing. Know the hell out of it, and then breeze through it. Use that subconscious art engine to just keep thinking and talking about your thoughts all the way through, because it's amazing how much knowledge you've got in there. It's incredible if you put the due diligence in. Like Rachel, that sketchbook, the amount of micro thoughts you had doing those drawings, you could draw those drawings again and explain everything that was in your mind as you did that, and it would be a wealth of knowledge, because no one ever hears the inner thinking unless you've done something like this, which is what the Wizard's Apprentice was. It's me explaining every single micro decision. So yeah. If you're interested in doing that podcast, I'll take us through that course and we can have a look at it. But what I want to see more than anything is Melanie's sketchbook.
Okay.
The next one.
Okay, maybe we'll set it up. We'll do another one.
Yeah, and then we can talk about this more.
Yeah, and we can talk about this more. We'll have her sketchbook set up. I'll try to. I wanted to get it today so I could have a second webcam so you can see my face. I'll figure it out.
And I think that's good. I think that's, I know the technology fell apart, but I think that's very important too, that people see who you are. You know, like for instance, did you see the Banksy? I'm not sure if it's true or not, but Banksy was exposed today.
Oh,
someone took a photograph. They found him, yeah. And it's, Banksy, and apparently the worth of his artwork has dropped. It's plummeted in worth because they could see his face now, right?
What?
And I think what it was is, I don't know if it's really him or not. It could be another Banksy scam. But he has to be. I mean, what did they expect? He kind of looks like just what you'd expect if someone was 50, right? He's a 50-year-old man that looks like he could just be sitting watching television with a bag of potato crisps, right? He just looks like an ordinary person. And people don't want that. They don't want that ordinary person. They want, they want a pop star or something. The idea was he was a pop star from the 80s. That's what people want. They want him to match the art, and he just didn't match it at all.
Yeah.
And whether it's all true or not, that's what I'm reading at the moment. I'll still have to go and fact check the whole thing. But the thing is that I think people really need to see us. They need to see us. If you're, like you guys are very presentable and you're nice people. And I think what's lost in the world, and I think the most precious commodity is kindness. I think it's the most underrated thing. And I think with you and your kindness and your friendliness is so underrated because of all the negativity we're looking at, and people are yearning for it. So I think it's really important to be on screen, to let people see that you're a person like them, and that's what we want. We're not interested in. I don't think so anyway, in being put down by people that say I'm the alpha, and you can only hope to be like me.
Yeah.
It's just a horrible thing. Let's all just enjoy the people we are. We're really nice people. Most of us are. They've been all around the world. And every time I see people demonized on the news, I've been everywhere. I've been all over the Middle East, all over the world. And everyone on the street is just like me.
Oh,
They're nice people. They're just nice people. Yeah. So don't believe the news. Don't believe the negativity. The world is full of lovely people. And there's 3 lovely people right here, if I can put myself in the mix of loveliness here for the art agents. So join us for the art agents if you want a little bit of calm and sense and calm, the main thing, and sensibility. Calm and sensibility we could call the next episode if you like. That's me out of here, guys.
I like it.
Some peace.
Patrick's red. Some peace. And it's a sláinte from me and from the Virginians.
See y'all next time.
Next time.